time now on Sky Sports Radio for Going Greyhounds for your daily update of the latest news and tips.
10 to 11, and Sky One joining us as well for Going Greyhounds this morning. Mick Cowley joins us, Ground Racing New South Wales. How are you, Mick?
I'm well, Cozzy. Yourself, mate? You're battling away?
Yeah, fantastic.
Mate, it's one of those times at the moment. Everyone's just trying to get through each day, and I know we're doing the same in this industry, as I'm sure everyone else is in their industries.
Yep, all just got to stay safe. Best thing is just respect each other and look after each other, and we'll get through this, I reckon.
Very true, mate, very true. Now, we've got a bit of a special guest on with us today, Cozzy.
Mm-hmm. Who's that?
Mate, we've got a trainer who's spent almost 5 decades in the sport. He's up Hunter Way, Aberdeen. Man's name is John Lawson. John, you're joining us on the line there, mate.
Yeah, Mick, I'm here, mate. Yep.
Mate, thanks for chiming in today, buddy. I thought I'd get you on. You're having a little bit of success with at least one in your kennel, but it was a good opportunity to get you on just to have a chat about yourself. As I said, you've been in the sport for almost 50 years now. It's not a bad stint. Mate, can you tell us how you got into the sport? Because it's a bit of a story in itself.
Yeah, it is a story. I had a bit of bad luck when I was 13. I had a virus attack my spinal cord and it paralysed me. And, and it took me about a year roughly to come a bit better, but it still left me with a lot of legacies. And a family friend, I couldn't play sport no more, and I was a real good sportsman, and a family friend, I had to have an interest. So a family friend had greyhounds, and he gave me a little greyhound pup to rear, and we reared him up, and gave me an interest, and we reared him and we raced him.
Mate, was there family involved in the sport at all?
Or my grandfather did have greyhounds, and the family friend had greyhounds, but my grandfather at the time when we had the pup didn't have greyhounds, but earlier in his life, my grandfather did have greyhounds, yeah.
Mate, and that first dog that you did get as a gift, mate, that came from a family friend. Family friend's name, Tommy Binskin, who has a bit of
Tommy Binskin from the Trotton family. Those Binskins, those people, yeah, he was a friend of my family. I don't know how my grandfather knew him, but yeah, he was a lovely man, and yeah, him and his wife. I lived out at Menangle in the end, yeah, Menangle Park.
Okay.
Yeah, and they gave me a puppy bred, and I reared him up and we raced him to give me an interest.
Mate, it's interesting the fact that that family is so famous in harness racing, and they gave you a start in the greyhound industry as well.
Yeah. Well, Tom always had greyhounds. He trained a lot of greyhounds, and he was a very good trainer. And even in the end, he used to help Johnny Clayton, who had the Menangle Park stud later in his life.
Mate, it's a small world, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a small world, mate. Very small world.
John, your first winner back in 1973, a dog called Aberdonian at Muswellbrook. Memories of that day?
Yeah, it was exciting times. You know, your first winners, you never forget it. And because we lived in Aberdeen, a lot of people lived in Aberdeen, were called Aberdonians. So I thought, that's what we name our dog, Aberdonian. Yeah.
Mate, from there, yourself and a mate bought a couple of pups by Lady Devo, or out of Lady Devo. They one of those turned out to be Kalyara Magic, who won a Chief Havoc at Beaumont Park up there at Newcastle. And that's really incorrect, actually. She won the Chief Havoc Memorial at Gunnedah. That's where the Chief Havoc. There we go. Yeah, it's incorrect. Sorry to correct you, but mate, I'd rather the story be right.
No, that's all right. No, I think Jeff Rose and the Gunnedah people would jump up and down. She won it on the old grass track over the 576. Yeah, I've won 3 Chief Havoc Memorials over the years. Yeah, it's been a good race for me.
Mate, it's only just really up the road for you, isn't it, Gunnedah?
Yeah, it's only a couple of hours Gunnedah away. Yeah, yep, a couple of hours up the road.
Out of Kalyara Magic, you then produced Kalyara Duchess, who was your first Wenty winner. Yeah.
Kalyara Magic was a brilliant producer. You know, every litter she had, they could all run. Everything out of it could all run. And she produced dogs who were like half a second faster than what she was. Kalyara Duchess was our first Wenty winner. She won Bell's maiden final at Wenty, and then she went in to make the final of the ladies' bracelet. And then she turned out a really good brood bitch as well. She was by Grove Whisper. Yeah. No.
Mate, I think she turned out to be the grand dam of a dog called Future Fund, who you rate as the best you've had.
Yeah, well, I two dogs out of that litter, Caliara Prince and Caliara Bell, and I reckon Caliara Prince was the fastest dog I've ever owned. He was a brilliant dog. Yeah, he won the straight track championships after winning a maiden only the week before. Not many dogs can do that. He took on the best dogs in the country, and then he only ever had one trial behind the drag lure before he took on the best straight dogs in the country and beat them. So that's how fast he was. He was a very fast.
Mate, you've had some handy ones over the years, and you've obviously had some good memories. Mate, is there a standout dog or a standout
I
memory
think Future Fun was a great dog for us because he raced for so long, and we carted him all over the country. Like we travelled when the country challenge was on. It was a great concept, and we used to travel to all the country tracks. We even took us to Broken Hill 2 years in a row, and it was just an experience in itself to meet such wonderful people as we travelled around the countryside and that. And he never got beat at Broken Hill. He won the heat and final 2 years in a row, Future Fun did. And it was great to go out there and experience, because I'd never been further west than Dubbo. And I just hours on hours and hours of straight road, and it was just an experience in itself.
Mate, that's the life of a greyhound trainer, pretty much, travelling around the country.
We used to travel everywhere in them days. I used to have a lot. I was a lot better off in them days too. I'm pretty crippled up these days, just as I got older and my conditions have sort of got worse and that. But yeah, no, they were great times, mate. Great times they were.
Mate, now you bought a dog called Ned's Chance not long ago off Jack Roy.
Yeah, about a year ago, roughly. Yeah.
Mate, you paid a bit of coin for him.
Yeah, I had no decent dogs at the moment. At the time, and I haven't had any decent dogs for a while. It's been a pretty dry time for me, and I thought, bugger it, I'll try and buy a better dog. And yeah, he hasn't turned out real great, but he's starting to go good now. Anyhow, he's a bit hard to predict what he's going to do. So, but his last 2 wins have been super.
Mate, as you said, one over 600 at the Garden, and then over the 565 at Maitland on Monday night. I hear you had a bit of a eventful trip to Maitland on Monday.
Didn't look like it was going to be a real good day. He travelled down bad. He ripped his bed up, and I hit a kangaroo on the way down, and I thought, it doesn't look like. And he's come out like 4 lengths last, and I thought, we're not going to be in it for a real good day. Anyhow, it was an incredible run, really, to give him so much start and get up and win by 4 lengths. But anyhow, I'm glad he did for the punters, because I wouldn't like to be taking $1.90 about him at any time.
Jack, appreciate you coming on to have a chat today, mate. It's
fine.
Mate, it's been great to have a chat, catch up with all the 50 years that you've been in the sport.
And you meet some wonderful people. That's the best part about the industry. Like, you probably don't make any money out of them, but you make a lot of good friends and you get a lot of good experiences.
Mate, you get rich in a different way, mate.
You do. That's exactly right.
John, as I said, mate, thanks for coming on today, and good luck with Ned's Chance and the others in your kennel, and fingers crossed you stay away from those kangaroos and get a few more winners there.
Oh, yeah, all the years I've travelled, that's the first series rule I've hit. It's the only one I've ever been to a panel beat, and I've did millions of Ks over the years travelling with dogs. So I've been lucky.
Well, hopefully it's a one-off.
Yeah, I do too. Okay, Mick.
Thanks again, John. Cheers, mate.
Talking to me, mate. All the best, buddy. Bye.
All the best. Because he's an interesting man, John Lawson. Yeah, he's as he said, he's been in the industry for a long time. Yeah. He's got plenty of stories to tell, and we probably could have gone for another half an hour if we had time.
I reckon you could have. No, fascinating. Now, we're getting any more news out of Greyhound Racing New South Wales, Mick?
Mate, we're working on our new racing calendar. The first one we did when we put these regions in place, it was just a 4-week calendar, and those 4 weeks are up next week. So we're working on a new one. We hope to have that out hopefully by the end of this week, and that'll give an indication of where all the meetings will be and when they'll be and that sort of stuff, because it's not a fluid calendar as it used to be. So keep an eye on the website. That'll be coming up shortly this week, mate. Cozzy, just touch on, there's I know we know feature races at the moment, they've all been put on hold, but there's a crack of a race at Bulli on Saturday night. It's the free-for-all, race 8 on the card. And just quickly running through the field, there's Lightning Vision in the 1, Kenya Lily the 2, Ebby Infrared, who's flying, in the 3, Shanjo Prince in the 4, Good Odds Harada, the $1 Million Chase winner, who equalled the Goulburn track record last start, is in the 5, Uzo the 6, Gumby's Rhino the 7, and the Paws of Thunder winner King Kratos in the 8. That would be a group field in any time, mate.
Nice and handy, isn't it? You wouldn't mind any of those in your kennel?
Mate, I would happily have any of them sitting in the backyard, or in fact they'd be sitting on the couch at my place.
Yeah,